Hello my friends, welcome back to the channel. Today we are going for a drive in my MG HS Essence top of the range model. If you're new here, otherwise you know what this car is. I've been talking to you about it, about its performance, about its value for money, other different aspects of it for a very long time. This is MG Owners Australia and I'm Dmitry. Welcome to the channel, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's go for a drive. So all windows in the car right now are closed and I'm not at speed, so this is by definition a little quieter than it normally would have been, but at the same time you can hopefully still hear that the cabin of the car, the passenger sort of experience of it all, is rather quiet, I would say. So again, it depends, I suppose, on what you're comparing this to. But at the same time, in my opinion, this is a fairly well insulated vehicle. So I feel I do not hear much of a road noise. I do not hear wheel noise. Engine is fairly quiet. And of course, this is city driving. We're not pushing the engine right now. But that is just, take it for what it is. Take it for what it's worth. I do think that this is a fairly comfortable, fairly quiet drive. What I'd like you to pay attention to is obviously the road noise. If it comes through the microphone of the camera, I'm not quite sure. We will have to see. I will see it during the editing of this video. You will see it when you watch it. But I think what I'd like you to pay attention to very shortly is how the car gets back into motion and how it gains speed, how it gains revs as the engine revs up when we take off from the next street light. That is when quite often, I hear that little weird noise, which I attribute to how the dual clutch transmission of MG HS is tuned, how it works. I'm not saying every dual clutch transmission works like this, but mine certainly does. And it is that little jerky sound that I talked to you about, some of those things that are kind of making me feel tiny bit uncomfortable, or make me feel like the car is not fully polished like some of the Japanese, some of the Korean cars at this, at this time, so in early 2022. So right now we are static at the street light. I do not know if the car will do it. It kind of does it when it wants to, but I think it does it mainly if it's static, and then we go from we go a little uphill where the car needs to push itself. That's when you hear this chuk 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 chuk. Well, it was a tiny bit of it, but I don't think you would catch it because it wasn't bad even by my standards. I know I'm getting used to some of it, but sometimes you really hear it. I do feel much more comfortable as a driver inside of my MG HS than I am in ZST. However, the drive itself, the mobility on the road, the ability to change lanes, the ability to do corners and whatever else is required in the tight traffic, it is better in ZST. So one of my viewers has commented about making a choice of buying an MG, and I cannot remember now if he or she was planning to buy ZST or HS, but that viewer was talking about being an Uber driver, so being basically, driving people around and making a choice on the car that wouldn't cost him an arm and a leg to buy, but at the same time presumably looking for a little bit more luxury, a little bit more of a sense that the passengers, the clients that the person has and takes for his drives, that they feel like an experience is quite premium compared to maybe a basic Toyota Corolla or something like that. Of course, we cannot compare the history of reliability of Toyota Corolla compared to any MG cars. The cars might be great. Problem is that we don't have the historic data. We have not had these cars on the roads long enough, not just me as in an owner of two MG cars, but we as drivers, as the community of drivers, international community of drivers. Of course, we know more about Toyota vehicles than we do about MG, so we don't know about long-term longevity. But what I said to that viewer in the response to his comment, and what I'd like to kind of repeat for you, my friends, is that MG cars, at least in Australia, they come with 7 years unlimited warranty, unlimited kilometers warranty. That is a very generous warranty, and considering that I drive this car every day, and I already very honestly told you what's not so good about it, and you heard right now MG Pilot or whichever part of the safety system right now warned me about frontal collision. I think it overreacts. I think it overreacted, but at the same time, that's how it sounds. So that gives you a practical, I suppose, idea of what that feels like, what that actually sounds like. So back to the use case of my Uber driver friend. So I understand that reliability remains to be seen, but 7-year unlimited warranty gives you certainly a peace of mind that even buying a new Toyota vehicle these days that is not necessarily assembled in Japan, don't take my word for it, I don't know exactly where they get assembled. Maybe they are still assembled in Japan, but does it really automatically mean that these robots that assemble it in Japan are better than robots that assemble it somewhere in Malaysia? I don't know. It's 2022. It's 2022. I think it's time for us not to live in the past and assume that, because I don't. I hear about Toyota Hiluxes that apparently are unbreakable. I hear about them breaking pretty badly. So I think the playing field, I suppose, from the reliability perspective, evened out a little bit, especially if your new purchase, if your new car is backed up by a generous warranty, is basically my point here. Beyond that, I do agree, and I wanted to highlight to you that the luxurious feel, especially if you're transporting passengers, especially if you're transporting them commercially, like an Uber driver, yeah? The sense of luxury here inside of this car is a lot higher, a lot, immeasurably higher than it is in an average Toyota Corolla kind of workhorse type of car that you may be employing for those type of services of driving people around. That's basically my point. The driver's position is very comfortable for me at the very least. No, I don't think that the steering wheel adjusts forward. Like, you know how in some cars it allows us to adjust it forward. I do think that it's adjustable in terms of tilting. I don't need to do that, and I'm not going to do it right now, obviously, as I'm driving. But at the same time, there is enough adjustment, there is enough of visibility, there is enough of creature's comfort here applicable to the driver's position for me to confirm for you yet again that if you are a commercial driver, Uber driver, or if you are just a city driver like me and you drive your family around, you go do your own whatever you need to do, yeah, I think that this is a very, very solid vehicle. I do want to take you for a drive in a MG ZST as well, so that you feel just how much more mobile and how much more nimble it is. There was a little bit of that tick 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 right now sound, but my ear is already trained to hear it, and you obviously hear a lot of me talking and other kind of things that probably would not allow you to hear it that well. And this is it, my friends. This is what a drive in MG HS Essence top of the range model feels like on the road, with all the noises, with all the other kind of comments that I wanted to offer you and hopefully conveyed how it feels to you today. If you have any questions for me, once again, you are most welcome to pop them into the comments section, and I will be more than happy to respond to you. And the more content is coming, as far as the little preview, if you watch the video that long, and you know, you deserve a little bit of a reward. So for you, my friend, is a little preview that right now I'm planning to compare my MGs to other competing brands in the same price category. That is Haval cars, and that is potentially even LDV, even though I know LDV cannot be compared one-to-one because they're a bit more van kind of and truck company, but they do have an SUV, which sort of, at the very least, would give us an idea, I suppose, of the quality of the vehicle, and if you should even consider LDV versus MG and Haval versus MG. So if you look forward to that type of content, if you would like to know what else you can get for roughly the same kind of money, please stay subscribed, please like the video, and your comments are always appreciated. Thanks again. Speak to you very, very soon. Bye for now.